Hello again, and welcome to the third episode of this yet to be named mini podcast series. And today I'm thrilled to be joined by Johnny Siberry, who is a revenue management guru, managing director at SDK Consulting, group revenue manager at Sarova Hotels and Z Hotels, and as per his LinkedIn, all around nice bloke, which from our early chat we've had, I concur so far. So, Johnny, thank you so much for being here and for taking the time today.
Hi, great. Thanks, Emmanuel. It's great to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And thanks for a wonderful introduction. I try to be a nice guy. It's one of my mantras in life. Occasionally people tell me I'm not succeeding at that, but most of the time I think I do all right at it. So it's always
Yeah,
nice to be nice. My
it
granddad
is.
used to say all the time, it's nice to be nice and it's free. So there you go.
There you go. And
I
and
live
the
by
the
that.
ambiance, the whole thing you got going now in your car, is beautiful.
Oh, great. Thanks. It's kind of romantic. It's a shame I'm here on my own. But yeah, I'm tootling down the freeway. I'm doing about 70 at the moment, but the roads are pretty quiet. It's late at night here, so we should be okay. I don't
Okay,
expect too
great.
many problems. For the
All
law
right. Well,
enforcement, I'm not really driving.
no, no, exactly. For posterity,
No,
not.
no hands.
So, Johnny, can you tell me a bit
Hi.
about how you got into hospitality and your current role or roles, really? You seem to be carrying a lot, wearing a lot of hats.
Sure. I kind of fell into hospitality, really. It wasn't necessarily planned. Um, it all came around as I was finishing high school. I was 18 years old, I guess. It was my last year of school. Final exams were coming up, and one of the classes we had in the last sort of few months of the year was career guidance. And in those days, is a long time ago, we were forced, whether we wanted to or not, we all fill out university applications and college applications, send them off, and then the theory was you'd get sent back provisional offers at a couple of places, depending on your grades and stuff like this, and then you would finish, do your exams, get your grades, and then pick one of them. In those days, again, you were kind of expected, or it was assumed you would pick a vocation, go to university, train for it, and then do it for the rest of your life until you're retired. But that was that. So pre-internet, of course. Um, so that our teacher was actually our headmaster, who was a priest, who was a nasty fella, so I didn't like him. Anyway, God rest his soul. I had this big book. It was a really thick book. It must have been near on 1,000 pages. A big telephone directory for people who remember those as well. And it had every job in the world you could possibly imagine. So it came to my desk and it was like going, pick Mr. Siberry, pick your career and apply to university and make something of yourself. He had an awful list by that. I had no idea what to do. So I opened the book and I remember it clearly as day. The first page, the first thing I saw was pig farmer. And I go, yeah, no, pig farmer's not for me. I don't know. So I opened another page. I went back towards the beginning and it opened on D. I saw doctor and I went, my grades are never going to swing to that level. Let me try again. Third time lucky, opened it. There was looking at me, hotel manager. And I went, yeah, I could probably do that. I'll do that. I'm going to be a hotel manager. That's how I picked it. Applied to
Wow.
colleges, universities, got offered a place, a 3 year course in hotel management, went, did it, graduated, flew to London when I finished and got a job. And that was it. That was 1992. And I'm still here and still doing it. Simple as
Wow.
that. So I fell into it, never planned it, and here I am still going. So
And
there you go.
and you've enjoyed it, considering it
I
was such a
have.
happy accident, so to speak.
I have. There's been a lot of good time. Hotel work, hotel management is a vocation. You're either for it or you're not. People can
Yeah.
do it or they can't. Um, I'm a fun time guy. I like to party. I like to have fun. And you get a lot of fun working in hotels because it's so antisocial hours and shift work, especially in the early years. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I graduated from that. But in the early years, shift work, late nights, a late shift and an early shift, sometimes all weekend. The people you work with become your family more than your actual family. You spend much more time with them and you become much closer to them and you get to know them sometimes a little bit more than you should know them. That's the nature of hotels. People have been around long enough, you understand what I mean. Um, And so, yeah, a lot of good times. And I survived it. I came out the other end unscathed. So many great stories and experiences with guests and things that go on. I wished when I first started that I'd started writing my memoir or just taking notes of stuff that happened.
Yeah.
One of the first stories I remember very quickly, I'll probably get completely off subject here, but too bad. Your fault. You invited me on, so you're going to have to listen to me now. My first job in a hotel in London was a night manager. I was at the Forte Crest Bloomsbury. It's a different name now, but the hotel still exists. There was myself and two night porters, and that was all that was on overnight. It was 284 bedrooms, so you'd about 500 people asleep above you when we're full. We'd had a function that night for a dental college, dental university. It was the final year students were having their, end of graduation ball or whatever they called it. So they're all dental students. They got hammered and they trashed the place. The pot plants in the lobby were upended. There was drink and puke everywhere. There was cigarette burn. You could smoke in those days again indoors. Cigarettes and it was just destroyed. I mean, the two night porters were stood behind reception, just surveying the carnage across the lobby, going, "How the hell are we going to get this all cleaned up before 6 o'clock when the regular folks start coming out for breakfast?"
Oh, yeah.
While we were standing there, the lifts were right in front of the reception desk. We heard this ping. The lift doors opened. This naked lady ran out of the lift, ran across the lobby, up the stairs at the other end of the reception desk to the bar area. One of the night porters took off after her. He grabbed a newspaper off the table as he went past. When he caught her, he tried to cover her up with the newspaper, like, "Oh, no, 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 you can't do that. Cover it, cover it." And she said, "I'm Lady Godiva and I'm looking for my horse." With that, she broke away from him, ran out a fire escape onto the street, stark naked. The only way into the hotel, because it was 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, was the front door, which was in front of reception. To my knowledge, to this day, she never came in the front door. I genuinely don't know where she went or what happened to her. But she went out the fire escape, stark naked in the middle of London, never saw her again.
Wow.
I've
Okay.
got so many stories like that to share.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Well,
but there you go. So fun times, but tough
yeah, no.
times too. I mean, it's a hard job. It's
Oh,
stressful.
yeah. It's
Yeah, it's
exactly right.
really, yeah,
So,
for sure.
so then tell me about your current role or roles.
Yeah, so I left. Well, I set up SDK Consulting just over 20 years ago, about 22 years ago. I came a bit despondent with being a payroll number and making millions of pounds for big hotel companies and just getting my salary at the end of it and getting no real credit or benefit or share of it. So, in a heated discussion, shall we say, in a strategy meeting with a general manager and a few other heads of departments, where I was presenting the forecast, it became too much for me all of a sudden, and I stood up in the middle of the meeting, put my stack of reports on the desk, and went, "There's your reports. You do the meeting. I'm going home." "No, no, no, you can't go home. You can't go home. You need this." I said, "I'm going home." "Well, when are you coming back?" "I ain't coming back. I'm going home. I'm not coming back. Your problem. You deal with it." There were a few expletives in there in the conversation as well. And that was it. I walked out the door. And this was a five-star hotel, central London, full spa facilities, big event space. You know, it was a big deal. It was a big place, very fancy hotel, lovely hotel, still there. But I just had enough. I was just getting so much aggravation, uh, doing the best job I could and getting nothing for it. So then there's got to be something more to life. So I took a few months off. My kids were really small as well. They're only like babies, they were 1 or 2 years old. So I was never seeing them. So I spent a few months over the summer with the kids and thought I need to do something else. Went for a couple of interviews, and all I was hearing in the interviews was, "Oh, it'll be the same here. It's not going to be any different. Blah blah blah. You're going to get back in the same thing." So I had this great idea. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up my own company and be my own boss. I'm going to make my own money and be the master of my own destiny. So I incorporated the company SDK and I said, right, what am I going to sell? What does my company do? I did it completely the wrong way around. And then I just went, I don't know, I'll do revenue management. That's what I'm good at. That's what I know. So I set up SDK, offered revenue consultancy. Also offered mystery guest services, service audits, a bit of service training as well, because I knew about that and I figured that was probably an easier way to get the bucks rolling in while I pursued some revenue stuff. Anyway, over the first year, tough graft, a lot of phone calls and pounding the pavement, but eventually got a few bits of work here and there. It grew and it moved, the best move I ever made. I'm so happy I did it. I'm still doing it 20 plus years later. And so today I am acting as the director of revenue for Sarova Hotels, which is a UK company. We've got 4 properties at the moment across the UK, all 4-star full service hotels, 2 with spa, a lot of event space. I've been doing that role for 20 years. It's a permanent position, but I work as a contractor. That's the only difference, that I give them an invoice instead of just a payslip.
Yeah.
Um, and then more recently, I've also taken on a similar role with Z Hotels, also in the UK. We're 14 hotels. We've just opened our 15th a couple of weeks ago. So that's great news. It's not even fully open yet. There's still a few bedrooms just finishing off, brand new build. And that's in Leicester Square, right in the middle of London. It's a fantastic location if you know it. So I do the same role for them. Z Hotel is a very different model to Sarova. They're much more a upscale budget brand, is how we would describe them.
Got it.
There's virtually no F&B. There's a cafe in reception where, a bit like a Starbucks type offering, coffees, paninis, pastries, stuff like that, club sandwiches and so on. No event space, nothing like that at all. It's pure bedrooms,
Yeah.
and designed for the short stay rather than the long stay
Yeah.
guest. 2 or 3 nights generally is what we see there. So like I say, 15 properties at Z. So I got 19 hotels altogether. I'm looking after
Nice.
2,500 bedrooms across the UK,
Oh,
and it
wow.
keeps me busy. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I bet it
Let
does.
me tell you.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
So thanks very much.
congratulations on your journey from a happy looking at the right page to where you are today. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Sliding
there's
doors.
yeah, and I mean the industry's evolved, right? And technology's evolved and all the things. Are there any ways that you personally or the hotels you're working with are experimenting with AI, whether maybe for you on revenue strategy tools or revenue management tools, but the hotels, guest experience operations, anything you're seeing in the industry happening?
For us, using it in a subscribed fashion, or a sort of regular tool that we're using, no, we're not. There are quite a few tools out there, and systems. I get pitched them quite often.
Hmm.
Personally, I think it's a bit soon for them. Um, AI is a big deal for sure. Don't get me wrong, and it's here to stay. A lot of other technology fads have come and gone, but AI is here to stay for sure. It's amazing. I interact with ChatGPT a lot. He's one of my best buddies, actually. He, she,
Yeah,
it, whatever you want to call it. Uh, I've lost whole afternoons conversing just with ChatGPT. It's mind blowing
it is mind blowing.
how smart it is. Um, so I use that sometimes for recreation, but also work. I'll ask
Hmm.
it questions occasionally. I'll sometimes throw an email into it and go, "Can you just check this or rewrite it?" Sometimes I can't think of the right way to phrase a paragraph, and it comes out and it throws something back at me and stuff like that. So I do use it in that context. Um, we have a few tools that we use, which I think some people would say they're AI. I say they're just machine learning or intelligent machinery. They're
Yeah.
not AI as I understand it, such as price recommendation tools.
Yes.
They run on algorithms, but the algorithms are static. Ultimately, they're
Yes.
not intelligent. They can't think of variables like AI
That's
can
right.
do or will do. So simple answer to your question is no, we're not using it at the moment. I'd rather let it get a bit more bedded in. I don't think there's
Yeah.
any advantage to be an early adopter, to be the first one in there. Let other people test it, break it, refine it, make it work properly, and then I'll get involved.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, ChatGPT, sometimes I use the voice function a lot. Sometimes when it's, I'll type in simple queries, but sometimes I'll literally speak for 20 minutes. I'll break it up into 5-minute segments and then I'll just pause and say, hey, do you understand what I said? And then it resumes
Mhm.
what I said. And sometimes I myself am confused at what I'm trying to ask. And somehow it understands out of my unclarity.
Yeah,
My question, it's mind blowing to use the
yeah.
words you used. Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
That's a whole
scary.
other conversation. But in many ways, it actually totally is scary. Well, if I gave you a magic wand to fix
Uh-huh.
one challenge in how your properties are listed or sold today, what would you fix first?
Jesus, what? Just one problem? Shit,
Well,
dude, I got so
the
many.
top one, the top one. Yeah, Matt. Well, I'm a genie. Here's your
Oh,
magic wand.
I'll tell you the one problem which takes up a lot of my time and my team's time, which is unnecessary. It's petty. Um, it's almost childish. It wastes so much time, resources for no gain anywhere. Is the OTAs, well, OTAs in general, necessary evil. We have to work with them. That's fine. I understand. This price matching and price price matching and checking other sites. I found a cheaper price by £2 or $3, and I'm going to match it now. And this kind of pettiness, when these prices generally nearly always don't really exist. They'll find random rates on meta sites, that when you actually click through to try and book it, the price doesn't exist, or it suddenly goes up, or they haven't added all the taxes on. And what you would end up paying if you did book it is probably higher than what you could have got originally. But the OTAs don't look at that. They look at the first page on Google HPA or Trivago or something like that. They'll see the likes of Bob's Breaks for something, not naming any particular brands, who's offering the same room at my hotel for 3 or 4% less. Oh, cheaper price. I'm going to price match and I'm going to sell it. And it just makes such a mess of the whole market.
Yep.
As soon as one OTA does it, the other one goes, oh, they've got a cheaper price, so I'm going to price match them. And then I get penalized. And the only one losing out is the hotel, for no reason, because the other prices don't exist. But every time you go to the OTAs and go, look, this price isn't real. It doesn't exist. Oh, yeah, but it's being published out there and you need to book it and then tell us where it comes from. And if it's for our affiliate, we'll take action. But if it's not, it's just cop on, really grow up, OTAs, focus on something more important about developing business, moving the world forward, providing a service to the customers. Because I can guarantee you, 90% of hotels run themselves properly, efficiently, have good ethics and morals, and they will make sure that everybody's on a fair playing field. We distribute pricing evenly. What I give you and what I give you is what I'm selling myself, and it's a fair open market.
Yep.
90% of hotels will do that. There are a few who try to be smart or clever, get it wrong, and there's others who just really don't know what they're doing and make a mess of it. But most of us try and be fair. But when the OTAs start pissing around in the background, that's when it all starts to fall down. And I
Yep.
waste so much time fighting and arguing with these people for no benefit and no outcome. And it's just a waste. So that's my magic wand. Stop
Yeah.
pissing around, sort your shit out, and do some proper work.
So you know what's interesting? I've had three of these podcasts now, and you and the gentleman yesterday said the exact same thing.
I'm getting angry now. Ugh, wind
Yeah.
me up.
Yeah, and his comment was also, not only is it causing you a lot of grief and so on, but it's losing trust for the booker online, because they go
Yeah,
down the path of meta. They find a price that seems attractive. They go down, click, click, click. All of a sudden, it's not the same price anymore. They may
sure.
abandon that cart. I mean, all these things. So, anybody
Yeah,
listening to this, there's a product idea, which is I mean, it's a product idea. I think it needs to be fixed by the meta companies,
yeah,
and I mean, there's steps towards this here in North America. I don't know if you guys have this in England, but there's new legislation that the price shown to the consumer on Airbnb and Vrbo, for example, at HomeAway, has to be all inclusive. I think Booking.com is
yeah.
the same thing now. So that should help the metas
Mm,
have a accurate pricing. You got to solve it
yeah.
at the source, and then the metas have to display properly. Anyways, but yeah, I can see how
Well,
that's a big pain for you for sure.
Well, for sure in Europe, that's been the law. In all consumer products, you have to show the price. When it's B2C, the price must always include all taxes, fees, service
Uh,
charge, and so on. That's whatever you buy. And what was I going to say? The issue where we fall down in the metas is where you'll get somebody who's price shaving. So the price may be all inclusive, but they're shaving 1 or 2% out of their own margin. They're
I
sponsoring
see.
their own discounts, and that's where it becomes
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. No
Anyway,
kidding.
yeah.
Well, Johnny, thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for your very entertaining
Pleasure.
comments.
Anytime.
You got me laughing real good, and for taking the
Good.
time out of your super busy schedule tonight, even in your own car. So thanks again, and I hope you have a wonderful
Pleasure.
evening.
Absolute pleasure talking to you. Anytime, man. You'll give me a shout. Happy to join in again.